In a fiery Senate hearing, U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. defended his controversial overhaul of the nation's vaccine policies, and this amid mounting calls from Democrats for his resignation. Well, the hearing lasted for over 3 hours, often breaking into heated arguments just days after a sudden dismissal of CDC Director Sue Munares. Now, it's a move that has thrown the country's top public health agency into utter chaos. Kennedy sharply criticized the CDC's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, calling their guidance on masking, social distancing and school closures disastrous and nonsensical. Now, he argued that the agency needs bold, competent and creative new leadership and highlighted his department's new focus on chronic diseases. However, Munares' fire in a Wall Street Journal op-ed accused Kennedy of deliberately weakening America's public health system and vaccine protections. Kennedy told senators he fired her after questioning her trustworthiness. Now, here's an excerpt from the heated debate. Listen to this.
Mr. Secretary, what do you say to the Americans concerned about your vaccine policy?
You're the Secretary of Health and Human Services. You don't have any idea how many Americans died from COVID?
I don't think anybody knows that because there was so much data chaos coming out of the CDC, and there was so many perverse incentives. And these are modeled.
You don't know the answer of how many Americans died from COVID. This is the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Do you think the vaccine did anything to prevent additional deaths?
Again, I would like to see the data and talk about the data.
You have had this job for 8 months, and you don't know the data about whether the vaccine saved lives?
That's the problem.
Now, Democrats on the Senate Finance Committee, led by Senator Ron Wyden, demanded Kennedy be sworn in under oath and accused him of lying in previous testimony about vaccine access. Wyden went further, saying Kennedy should resign or be fired by President Donald Trump.
So could you explain what steps you're going to be taking to ensure vaccine guidance is clear, evidence-based, and trustworthy?
We're going to make it clear, evidence-based, and trustworthy for the first time in history.
If you're going to want Americans to get healthier, should they have access to nutritionists? Should they have access to good science about healthy food?
Absolutely.
Well, then how is that going to happen with the Medicaid cuts that are taking place?
There are no cuts to Medicaid.
Sir, that is an absurd.
Well, Republicans mostly defended Kennedy, but some, including Senator Bill Cassidy, expressed concern about his moves to cut funding for mRNA vaccine research, technology credited with saving millions of lives. Now, the debate reflects deep partisan divides over vaccine policies, with states like Florida ending school immunization requirements, while West Coast states move to form independent vaccine advisory groups to counter federal influence. And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us this report from New York. Take a look.
There's a lot to unpack regarding the high-drama Senate Finance Committee hearing on HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. At one point, he clashed with Senator Ron Wyden, who accused him of endangering children's health by sidelining scientists and embracing conspiracy-driven policies. Wyden sharply asked how many preventable child deaths are an acceptable sacrifice, prompting Kennedy to retort to blaming rising chronic illness and infant mortality on prior administrations, and saying Wyden said nothing about it during his long tenure. While the Maho movement likes what they're seeing, on the GOP side, divisions are appearing. Some Republican senators worry Kennedy's actions, such as ousting the CDC director, restructuring vaccine guidance, and cutting mRNA vaccine funding, contradicts his confirmation promises. So what's next? Lawmakers are poised to grill Kennedy even more. He'll also need to justify reforms and reconcile with some GOP colleagues, or they need to reconcile with him moving forward. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World is One.